Welcome to TRB Conversations powered by Exco. We are here at Possible, Miami Beach. I'm joined by Katie English, the global head of ad product at Spotify. Katie, welcome.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so I want to talk about what else? AI and how it is changing
Great.
the ad product at Spotify. Because you guys have been, I think, like on the forefront of figuring out how to integrate
Yes.
AI in the advertising product. AI is being integrated into everything
Of
these
course.
days, sometimes with, uneven results.
Sure.
But tell us how you are thinking about it at Spotify.
An excellent opening question. And of course, I knew we would talk about AI. It is such a buzzy, hot topic. We are really excited about the new power it is unlocking. We're thinking about AI as really an amplifier. So it's not meant to replace, it's not meant to just sort of automate away. It's really meant to help augment what humans are doing, which we're excited about. One of our principles on the product team is no performative AI. So to your comment around
Okay.
mixed results, we're trying to avoid that.
There's a lot of people trying to hit OKRs by shoving AI in places
Right.
it
We
doesn't
want to just sort of
necessarily need to
tack
be.
AI onto the end, put a little like glimmer in the UI and call
Yeah.
it a day. That is not how Spotify is approaching. What we're really thinking about is how we can solve real problems with AI. I'll give you a perfect example. We are in an audio space. Not every advertiser has audio assets readily available. We've introduced some tooling into our ads manager suite over a year ago using generative AI to help advertisers make audio assets. It's been a huge force multiplier for advertisers who want to activate in our space, but don't exactly know how to approach audio. In my example, I think it's a really good showing off of how AI can be a useful tool, filling a white space as opposed to just sort of AI for the sake of AI. It's been really effective.
So how does that like work? Because I know you guys were doing things of
Yeah.
like cloning like people's voices and whatnot in AI,
Yeah.
which I'm interested in. I'm open to my voice being cloned,
Come
particularly
on down. We're happy to
particularly
help.
for
Yeah.
monetization
We can
purposes.
scale you. This is great. Yeah.
But tell me about how that works, because I think one of the questions I always have with AI, and this might be me like as like a writer, like I know AI writing when I see it,
Yeah.
and I think people know it's not this, it's that,
100%.
and there is almost, and I don't know how widespread this is. There is almost like a discounting effect of like AI content that is starting to take hold, and I feel like as people rush into shoving AI everywhere, there is the risk of it being devalued.
It gets watered down. If
Yeah.
everything is AI, then nothing is special anymore and unique. I completely agree. I can talk about some of the tooling and
Yeah.
the tech, but let me talk about the advertiser controls first, because I think that's the more important place to start with, which is giving advertisers sort of full creative control. So what we think about is, what are the prompts? What are the controls? What are the levers we should give advertisers so they feel like it's their creative voice? A brand is so carefully curated. The way you create your identity and your brand voice and your messaging is really intimate and personal to the brand. AI should not erode that at all. It should be a tool that you can use to really bring that brand voice to new formats and to new audiences. So, for instance, in our Gen AI tooling, we have a really large suite of voices we can choose from. This is where I'll talk about the tech. You got a product person here, so I'm going to tech nerd out just a little bit.
Let's do it.
We use employee voices, which is really fun, but we blend them so they're anonymized. And most of our voices are powered by our own proprietary first-party tech, which we're quite proud of. We give a very wide menu of options, a very wide menu of tones, of sort of energies that you can apply to it. So the idea is that there's no one-size-fits-all outcome that comes from using these prompted tools. We also have a full library of extensive music, background tracks, etc. So the end result is really a very interesting Mad Libs of creative inputs from the advertiser, and it sounds really genuine and it reflects the brand voice. We're really proud of that. It's kind of fun.
Okay. Yeah. I want my voice to be have an English accent
Come
if
on
we can
down.
do that.
We can dabble in that. Sure, happy to try.
But how about on the video front?
Yeah. There's, I think, a lot of opportunity in that space, and I see that as sort of one of the next forays in this sort of generative space. Where Spotify has focused to date has been on audio, obviously, because that's where we see the most friction in advertisers coming to Spotify for the first time. But we, of course, have an immense amount of video inventory. Our video pods, for example, people like to watch conversations like this live. So I think empowering advertisers with that tooling becomes an important next step in our maturation process.
Yeah. And I think the end result should be how you scale the number of advertisers that can be like on the platform. I mean, obviously, I think the biggest home run of digital advertising has been search advertising. And like a lot of that is because you can have millions of advertisers when it's like text and snippets of text.
Yeah.
And obviously advertisers love sight, sound, and motion. And the question is how you end up scaling it, because it's always been a fairly small, and only the largest companies typically have run like TV ads. Less so on like radio, but
sure. I think that's where AI becomes a real force multiplier. It's an amplifier. It gives everyone sort of democratized access to the ability to do that scaled way of interacting with your audience. So when we think about on Spotify, our generative AI tooling has created, I would say, something to the tune of 20 to 30,000 iterations of ads so far for several thousand advertisers. And we're seeing that number growing exponentially day over day. So the adoption has been really strong. For us, that signals that there's a real appetite here, something we're really excited about. And that means that we can really continue to scale that access to what you can access on Spotify.
Yeah. And how about the ad exchange? Like, and give us an update on what's working there.
So exciting. So we're really, really proud of the growth that we've seen from the Spotify ad exchange. We launched just about a year ago. We've seen over 200% growth year over year in the advertisers active on the exchange, which is really exciting. We've got integrations with something like 30 plus DSP partners at this point. So what we're most excited about is this momentum and bringing sort of Spotify access to advertisers everywhere, really giving a broader menu of choices for how you want to buy with us. So if you don't want to be in our ads manager, which we love, or if you don't want to interact directly with us, of course, you have full access through any DSP that you want. So that growth story has been really impressive. We're really quite proud of it.
Yeah. So what is one change that we should look for in the next year in this space?
In AI space or in the Spotify ad exchange space?
No, just in general with like, audio. Let's just keep it to sort of Spotify.
Keep it constrained, sure. I think what we're most excited about is really continuing to prove out the true measurable value of audio. There's this idea that audio is out of focus, and we really challenge that idea. Audio is absolutely in focus. I say this all the time. We've somehow decided to value our eyes more than our ears, and I don't know why that is. So we're really, really trying to encourage advertisers to use a full suite of measurement tools and really understand the very real performance-oriented role that audio should play in your buy.
Yeah. It's funny, while we are doing this by video, I am an audio first podcaster, and I resist it becoming all video. I think it changes the product. This is my own personal belief.
I like that.
And I also think that I've created a lot of types of content, and audio, the human voice has a resonance to build a connection with people that is, I think, different than video, even though video obviously includes like voice. I think there's something different about it. And I know everything is going to like video podcasts, etc. However, I'm like staunchly pro audio because people always write me and tell me what they're doing while they're listening to me, and being part of habits. I mean, we always talk about habits in media.
Huge.
Being integrating with existing habits, walking the dog, doing the dishes, etc. Commutes is just as valuable these days as a companion.
We see it in the Spotify user base. They spend on average 2 hours a day interacting with the app. They tell us it is an essential, critical companion to their day. And you made such a great example. You're walking your dog, you're folding your laundry, you're in these really like intimate moments in your life, and you're bringing audio along with you on that journey. So for advertisers to really tap into that sort of personalized experience is incredibly, incredibly powerful. It's really in focus, and it's really necessary.
Yeah. Well, I was listening to Spotify on the way here.
What were you listening to?
I was listening to music.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Awesome. Thank you, Katie.
Thank
really
you so
appreciate
much.
you
Thanks
taking
for
the time.
having me. Really enjoyed it.